So as I'm sure you're all aware, I made a video a couple months ago in about late January in which I spoke about S&box or Sandbox, the new spiritual successor coming out to Garry's Mod. And that's because at the time I thought it was interesting to look at a different game's economy and see how it would react. And it was essentially a nice case study to see what increased player counts and what hype would do to this market. And the hype has finally showed up. The apex so far of the hype was the Cardboard King hat. It was released on April 1st as a joke, and it was listed at $100 on the S&box store in-game. And as of right now, it sits at over $500 on the Steam community market. I said I'd keep an eye on the market, and I did. And this will be the last time in which I ever speak about it. People have been asking me for weeks, what should I buy? Should I buy? Is this the next big thing? Right, so is there hype? Obviously, the prices do not lie. But the prices do not think either. So let's think for ourselves here. And of course, we'll use CS2 as a comparison because that's what we know and love. And the gap between it and S&box is not really a gap, more so a gigantic fucking ravine. Now, S&box or Sandbox is officially slated to release in late April, I believe the 28th of 2026. This is supposed to be the spiritual successor to Garry's Mod. Garry's Mod, the game it is supposed to replace, costed $12 back when it was released. S&box is foregoing the Garry's Mod name, deliberately separating itself from its predecessor, and is asking for double the price to enter the game, $20. Now, for one, let's just look at the competitive landscape of its particular market. This is the hardest market to probably break into. You have Roblox and Fortnite. If you are unaware, Roblox is free, Fortnite is free, and you're launching a paid Sandbox game against the two probably most established game franchises in the world right now. Right? As we know, these aren't standalone games. They're platforms of games. These are platforms that have already established economies for creators and players, cult-like audiences, and years of people being entrenched in the ecosystems of their respective games in which they play. Now you're gonna walk in, change your name from Garry's Mod to something completely different, so removing all brand identity, and you're gonna charge $20. I guess you could see it as ambition, but it's really just terrible marketing and terrible business practice. And as for the market itself, it works like Rust from what I've been told. I've never played Rust. Essentially a perpetually rotating shop in which all items are limited edition, usually for about a month, 2 months or so, and then pulled forever from the game. All subsequent transactions will take place through the community market. So supply is locked after that window closes. And that sounds scarce and it sounds investable in theory, but there's a problem. Scarcity like this is only sustainable in which there's demand on the other side of that supply. And demand is entirely predicated upon the success and longevity of the game. I cannot stress this enough. The game is not out yet. The prices right now are purely speculative on the long-term success of the game. Nobody knows if this game will retain a player base. This is the first time in which it's had a player base. So anyone telling you to buy right now is completely guessing. Everyone is guessing. If you want to invest in the game, you need data, and there's no data as of right now in which to invest in. Now, people will point to other collectible markets like Pokemon cards or baseball cards. After all, these are markets driven by hype, nostalgia, etc. Sure, but Pokemon has 25 plus years of cultural impact. Baseball is a sport that's been out for 100 fucking years. So these markets have a function and a cultural impact independent of the cards that are sold and bought by people. Not only does S&box not have that, it took any inkling it had of that and threw it in the fucking trash when they completely negated the name from Garry's Mod 2 to Sandbox. Right? We're not dealing with comparable systems here. So we have this hype-driven market where supply is permanently locked, sure, but notably missing is a mechanism in which to lower that supply over time. When there's hype, people play the game, and when people play the game, people buy shit. Right? When there's hype and massive droves of players coming in at once, there could be items in that shop that are overinvested. Now, can you get rid of them? No. So when the hype cycle ends, and it always ends, it's inevitable, you're holding these items in the market with pretty much no prospects of it going down ever. No trade-ups, no supply burn, nothing. It just sits there, and if there's no one there to buy it, then no one's going to buy it. There's no mechanics built in to save you. You just have to guess whether people like the item or not when it's in the shop. The price floor is whatever someone wants to pay for it, and if no one's playing the game, no one's going to pay for it in the first place. Now, for the game itself, I'm going to speak from an anecdotal perspective here. Playing it, it sucks. This is my experience. I don't know if there's any good games you have in mind on the game itself. Every game was clearly generated in ChatGPT. Now, an AI-generated game could be absolutely very well made, right? The existence of AI slop implies the existence of AI art. But all of these games were clearly created in 1 to 2 prompts. Right? The tools and foundations they've put in place for creators to make games looks good in theory, but if we're going to just forego these to make shitty, low-budget, low-effort games, clearly designed just to make a quick buck, it's not going to be good for the game. I don't want to play it right now, and it's free. Imagine when it's $20 fucking dollars. And now, with prices as exorbitant as they are, I'm no longer asking you to purchase potential back in January when skins were $2. They're now expensive. So there's a higher price to investing in potential now, and it simply isn't there at this point. And that $20 price point is just absolutely killer. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. And then supposedly good news comes out talking about how S&box will release a tool set in which creators can make their own Source 2 games independent of the S&box name or moniker. Royalty-free, no sandbox branding or anything having to do with the game itself. So think about what that means for 1 second. The sandbox game, which is designed to have many games running on its platform, is letting developers make their own independent games on the Source 2 engine. Congratulations, you gave a fuck ton of developers the tool set to kill your business. You've created competitors for no reason. Why would any serious developer stay inside S&box when they can take their own Source 2 games, make an independent title, and ship it independently without any of the royalties or guidelines that S&box has to follow? What the fuck are they thinking? So now your game is destined to have trash AI slop because all of the best creators are incentivized to leave your platform and make the game and just listen on Steam. And when your best creators are leaving, the players are going to follow them, and then when they leave, they're going to sell their items for pennies. And all of that's independent of the economy. But let's talk about a real virtual economy, CS2, and why it is so successful. And yes, I guess comparing S&box and CS2 is unfair, but that's the entire point. People are leaving CS2 and foregoing skins for S&box items right now. So while they don't belong in the same conversation, they're going to be in the same conversation. Now, A, uniqueness. Every single CS2 skin you own, and I own, and anyone else owns is one of one. Verifiably one of one. Even if you have the same skin, you might have different float values. If your skin and float are the same, then you definitely have a different pattern index. If your float, pattern, and gun are all the same, well then you have different stickers on it. And if you have the same stickers, then you might have a different charm. And if you don't have a different charm, then they might have a different charm pattern. There's quite literally an infinite amount of ways in which your gun can be unique from the one right next to it. Every skin that has ever been unboxed and every skin that will ever be unboxed in the future, pretty much functionally unrepeatable. And that's the engine that keeps the entire ship running. That's how you sustain demand for case openings 12 years after the case has been released. Why would someone open a weapon case 1 in 2026 at a $150 price point? It's been out for over a decade. You could just go buy an AK case harden on the Steam Marketplace, right? Yeah, well, you can't go purchase the StatTrak 661 AK. Every $2.50 key has the potential to get you whatever the fuck you may get. Because the AK case harden you unbox will be completely different from every other AK case harden in the world. Even when you have limited edition items in the armory, why did people redeem more than one M4 Solitude? Well, because if you redeem an M4 Solitude, you only have a 10% chance of getting factory new. And even if you do get factory new, well then you have a 1 in 1,000 chance of getting the best pattern available on the M4 Solitude. And maybe you slap 4 stickers on it that no one else has, and now you have your own one-of-one unique skin that no one else has and no one else can have. That is infinite demand built into the game by the mechanics of the system. It's not manufactured by limiting supply, it's real thought and real mathematics going into it. S&box, every copy of an item is the same exact item that someone else has in their inventory. That already just kind of lowers the maximal ceiling of the prices involved in the game. There's no number one, there's no chase, there's no reason to purchase anything beyond purchasing it so it could go up in the future. It's not sustainable. And when a bunch of people buy the same item in S&box, you have a fuck ton of supply and thus a lower price. But what happens if you have an overinvested item in the CS market? Well, then you have trade-ups. As we know, when you open a case, a purple is 5 times rarer than a blue. But to trade up to a purple, you need 10 blues to make a purple. So every time you do a trade-up, you kill 5 blues. 10 cheaper skins into 1 rarer one, and those 10 skins are gone forever. That ratio, intentional, deflates supply and creates scarcity over time. There's no artificial limits because the community is consuming them, and prices reflect that 10-to-1 ratio, which creates price floors and creates safer ways to enter the market. There's mathematical foundations. Sandbox has none of this. There's no supply burn, there's no equivalent mechanic. Supply is fixed at whatever amount was purchased during the window. That number goes down when people get banned or lose access to their accounts, which is simply not a sustainable way in which to deflate supply. When people stop buying, there's no floor to catch the price of the item. It could simply just literally go to zero. CS2 is a very intentionally created economy. You might take it for granted, but one look at this economy and you should appreciate what CS2 has to offer in terms of depth and breadth of the market. And then there's something you can't build with hype or you cannot build with coding the game, and it's culture. CS2 and Counter-Strike is a cultural phenomenon. It is the blueprint for every single FPS you've ever played. And the skins within Counter-Strike, they've been a part of the game for 14, 13 years at this point. So shut the fuck up. It's just as big as the game itself. The skins themselves are so well crafted that a lot of them could be pretty much classified as art. The Dragon lore has merch, mouse lines, mouse pad lines, merch lines. This talented artist on Twitter makes beautiful clothing that have to do with skins. And you can wear this shit in public and not look like a total fucking spaz. These items have real-world cultural significance now. And every skin is one of one. There's only one Kenny S magic stick. There's only one of Shroud's Fire Serpents. That one isn't just an Op Asimov, it's a piece of esports history. The skin itself carries a story. It brings memories of a certain game or a certain match, or a certain time in your life when you were watching that match. The skin and the player become inseparable. The skins are a fundamental thing in Counter-Strike. You simply cannot manufacture cultural significance. It takes decades to foster and decades for it to be actually established. CS has had them, and it's going to continue to have them. S&box, probably not. And that's, of course, independent of the games themselves. If you can manage to ignore the fat morons online for 5 seconds, CS is an actual good game. It's the first-person shooter. It's the foundations for esports as a whole. It's the only esport in which it could realistically be put on a TV in a bar and people would watch it. We're still playing on maps created in 1999. So this is by no means an emerging market with something to prove. This is as established as a virtual economy can possibly get. And the idea that Sandbox, a game that isn't even out yet, belongs in the same conversation is just wrong. So here's where I land on this subject. Investing in a speculative market for the simple reason that there's money to be made, I'm sure it could be very profitable, but it's an undertaking I'm not going to undertake in good conscience. Every market cycle is going to have people running to the market because someone on Twitter said it could be the one to 10x next. I buy CS2 skins and I like CS2 skins because I like the game itself. I'm fond of the game. I'm never going to buy Pokemon cards. I'm never going to buy baseball cards because I'm sure you can make money in it, but I don't want to make money in something I'm not personally interested in. I've been playing CS since I was a kid. It's the only game that I pretty much play and have played. I was like 11 years old pulling up Steam charts like a Wall Street Bloomberg terminal, and in a lot of ways was the foundation for me going to college for math and economics. Skins are as integral to the game as the game itself. At this point, it's not an add-on, it's pretty much woven into the game's ecosystem and cultural zeitgeist. And everything added to the game is intentional and works with other things in tandem with one another. And underneath the math and underneath the market, there's a game in which I enjoy, which I would like to see grow. That's another huge point of investing in anything. An emotional connection, a conviction, a belief that something will actually go up rather than hoping it will go up so you can make a quick penny. And so far, that's all I see in S&box, and it makes me fucking sick. So now I don't believe in S&box. Will the prices still continue to go up? Probably, but so long as I'm not playing the game and so long as I continue to see the same mistakes the developers are making, I will be selling all that stupid shit I bought in January and buying armory passes with it. So I won't be covering S&box again on this channel. I hope the game does well, but I don't play it and I'm not going to pretend I have a stake in it because it's something I simply don't care about and I don't want to make money off something I don't care about. That's just me. Believe in what you buy, invest in the community, and you can see the flowers bloom for yourself. For me, that's Counter-Strike. And it always has been. And it'll never be S&box. So, I hope you guys do well, but I won't be there. Peace. I've got you covered with UUSkins, today's sponsor. UUSkins offers direct access to the Chinese marketplace for NA and EU players. Shop the massive inventory with hundreds of skins for each and every weapon, each and every skin, each and everywhere. And look at some of these deals. 20 to 30% off. Not only can you purchase for yourself, but you can make quite a bit of scratch using some arbitrage as well. the best support in the game, around the clock, 24/7, and a 10-hour guaranteed delivery or your money back. So what are you doing? Why are you not using UUSkins? Scan the QR code to check it out for yourself. UUSkins is the gold standard.